Now out of China, it's former top government scientists saying that the Wuhan lab leak theory for the origins of COVID should not be discounted, saying, quote, "You can always suspect anything. That's science. Don't rule out anything." Senator Rand Paul, top Republican, Homeland Security Committee. Senator, nice to see you. Good morning and welcome back to our program here. This gentleman's name is Dr. George Fu Gao. He also said this apparently in the same interview. I think their conclusion is that they're following all the protocols. They haven't found any wrongdoing. So what's it going to be?
You know, this is the head of the CDC in China. He's well known in international circles, and I think respected around the world as being a truth teller. I think from the very beginning he was kept in the dark, and I think that now he's trying to shed some light on this. In their kind of system, it's very difficult and dangerous sometimes to tell the truth. And just indicating or intimating that this could have come from the lab is a big deal coming from a government or an ex-government official. So I've spoken with the Chinese government directly and asked them to be more forthcoming, not to blame them. I've really told them, look, we have these labs in our country. I don't want this to happen in our country or anywhere in the world again. And I've asked them to be more forthcoming. I don't know if it'll have any more response from the Chinese government, but I think it would be good for the world if they were to come forward and say, look, this was an accident. It was a terrible accident. We're doing everything to prevent it happening again. And then in the United States, we should also do more to try to make sure that dangerous research doesn't leak in the United States.
What you're saying is that you and we, everybody should understand it for the future. But do you think this is as close as we get to a possible admission from the CCP?
You know, I hope we end up getting more because, you know, I've spoken to former high-ranking CDC officials in our country who have told me that they expect that there will be another leak and that the next leak could be as much as 5 to 50% of the world's population could die in another pandemic. So we're crazy not to put more rules and regulations on this type of research. I've been pushing this for 3 years, and to date, I've not had a full committee hearing or get one Democrat to agree to a full committee hearing. I've been pushing Democrats to give me signed records releases from the Biden administration. So far, I haven't gotten one letter signed in 3 years by a Democrat. So it's amazing the cover-up. And you played a clip from Fauci earlier. Fauci was covering this up from day one because he knew if it came from the lab that ultimately culpability would attach to his decisions to fund that very lab.
Oh, okay, I don't know the clip that you're talking about from earlier, but this is from June of 2022. Here's Fauci then.
I said that I think the most likely origin is a jumping of species. I still do think it is, at the same time as I'm keeping an open mind that it might be a lab leak.
Okay, I mean, 11 months later, is that a fair statement? Keeping an open mind?
Well, the thing is, well, no, it's absolutely not. From day one, from January 31st of 2020, he was conspiring with fellow virologists to cover this up because he knew he'd been one of the world's leading advocates of gain-of-function research for at least a decade. He's quoted as saying that gain-of-function research is so important that even if a pandemic breaks out, it'll be worth the knowledge. He'd been an advocate for a decade. He was an advocate and the chief architect of funding the lab in Wuhan. So he knew from the very beginning, if this leaked from the lab in Wuhan, that the guilt, the culpability for the pandemic would attach to his horrific decision to fund this lab. And so, no, he's been trying to cover it up from day one. It's only in the last 6 months or so he started saying this open mind thing. But no, he's been part of an elaborate cover-up to make sure that no one ever knew the truth. But we're going to get to the truth, I promise you.
When do we hear from him next, Fauci?
I think he'll be made to testify under oath by the House. If I had to predict within the next couple of months, they're gathering evidence. There won't be any chance because we don't have power in the Senate to bring him in. So he'll be brought in, and I suspect for one very public interview under oath, and we'll see if we get any truth out of him. But be prepared. He was made to testify in a Missouri-Louisiana case, and he said, I don't recall, I think over 80 times.
Sir, thank you for your time, and we'll see what comes of it on the House side. Rand Paul, thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.